Hello, so this is the Lone Canner again with, I'm not quite sure which number of rums we're talking about, but today we are going to be talking about a rum from Madagascar, which is that huge island that is off the east coast of Africa. And it's not very well known, but there's really only one company making rums in that place, and that is a company called Vidzar, which was founded somewhere around 1980 1982 by a Mr. Lucien Fauhin. Now, Mr. Fauhin thought that one of the reasons why the sugarcane was so fragrant over there in the small island of Nosy Be in the north was because the roots of the Makassar plant or the ylang ylang plant kind of intermingled and transferred nutrients somehow, and such a sort of like a perfume note entered into the sugar or into the sugar cane that then got transmuted into the subsequent distillate. Never really been proven, but you know what? That was his thing. So he started a company that ended up becoming something like Clark's Court in Grenada or Banks DIH in Guyana, which is to say something of a rum conglomerate. They make a lot of different rums. The last time I checked on Rum X, I think they had something like 29 different versions. But today we're going to talk about the classic white, which is essentially the white that they make, that isn't spiced, that isn't added to, that is simply just a 40% white column still, molasses based, coming out of there. Now, the real question is it any good? Obviously. I picked this one up in Canada, so it is available here. It's not very expensive. I think it's like $32, $34 or something like that. I've had it for a while. The way this thing tastes, or at least smells, is that there's always this scent of vanilla about them. And I've noticed this since 2014 when I tried the first one. I think it was the 6-year-old in the Berlin Rum Festival. And it had that same kind of spicy note with the sort of sweetness of vanilla that kind of overwhelms other things. And it's not a question of being unpleasant. It isn't. It's actually quite a nice little sip. And it actually has a lot of citrus in it as well, like a lemon meringue pie. You just can't miss that. And all of this transmutes onto the taste. So it's kind of nice. It does have that. It does give you this impression that there's something been added to it, which I can't quite shake, even though the hydrometer does show it as being 40%. Now, Vidzar, or Virom de Dzama, which is actually what the name of the company is, used to be up in the north of Madagascar before they got moved down to the capital of Antananarivo. They have existed ever since. They have a lot of rums in their portfolio. They've got a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, a 21-year-old. I think they've even got a 25-year-old or something like that. And some millésimes that are for specialties. But after a big push in the 2010s, somewhere around 2018, 2019, they kind of just faded from the map. I have no idea why that happened. They still can be found. And of course, they still do make rums. They have a captive market, after all, just like any island company does that has a quasi monopoly, or de facto monopoly in this case. For me, it's not one of the best rums out there. It's good because it's interesting, and it's interesting because it's from a place that we don't know very much about. I mean, we know that they speak French there. They've got lemurs in Madagascar. We've got all the stuff that we've seen from various travelogues and so on, but we actually don't know very much about it. The fact that they can make a rum that tries very hard to go into the world stage, I thought was very impressive. I have tried 4 or 5 of their rums already. I may try more as time goes on. I would want to generally go a little bit further than 40%. So something like this would probably not appeal to me. I'd want something with a little bit more oomph, 45 to 50% or so. And right now, I don't think they're making those. But if you want to try something a little bit off the beaten track that still has recognizable rum notes, then this might be a place you might want to park for a while and just take a try of it. I think it isn't too bad. It is actually supposedly unaged, but I think it's been aged for about a month or so before being bottled, but that may just be resting in steel tanks or something. The terminology is just a little bit vague. So a nice rum. I think I scored this one about 70 something points. I wasn't that impressed with it, but it is nice. It is a decent little sipper, and if you like your citrus notes and your pastry notes in a rum, then you're not going to go too far wrong with this. So I hope you like that, and see you next time. Bye.